What if the Houston Texans never traded away DeAndre Hopkins? Would they still be a contender? Would they have done better than 4-12 last season? Would Deshaun Watson still want to play for the team? Let's find out in this new NifL series, brought to you by Best Available Player. Okay, so I went in here and I traded with the Cardinals. I gave them back David Johnson and a 4th round pick and got D-Hop back. And we're just going to be using the rest of the roster that the Texans were working with this past season. The only addition I made was we obviously lost a running back in David Johnson. And so I signed one in free agency. I picked up Alfred Morris as a backup. I thought that was innocent enough. Wasn't going to change too many things really unless he has a crazy breakout season. But here's our offense as it stands now. Deshaun Watson is a superstar, 90 overall, and not only does he have D-Hop, he's got Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller, and we're keeping Laramie Tunsil on the team. And here's our defense for you. Again, all the same folks from this past season. Only addition I made was bringing D-Hop back. So Bill O'Brien is still our coach, and again, that's just only because he was here for the 2020 season before he got fired. I still want to fire him after this season. I don't know. Maybe he'll lead us to a Super Bowl. Even then, terrible decision making on his part here with the Houston Texans. These next couple seasons are going to be rough. We have almost no cap and barely any picks. So we'll get through it together and we'll see how this works out for the Houston Texans. For this first year, let's just go week by week and see what happens here. So this first matchup is against the Kansas City Chiefs. Should be a really tough one, but let's see how the squad does. Okay, so we lost 14-35. Just check out some stats here. Deshaun, pretty good game. Over 250 passing yards, 2 touchdowns with no interceptions. So I'll take that. Did get sacked more than Mahomes here. Hopefully that's not foreshadowing our O-line not protecting us well. Receiving, looks like D-Hop is 2 catches for 40 yards. Okay, not, an incredible standout game. It's just one game out of the bunch here. Doesn't have a touchdown yet. Obviously, that'll change. Kansas City Chiefs, they made it to the Super Bowl this year. It's not like that was going to be an easy win for us, so we'll go up against the 0-1 Ravens, and we'll see how we do. Okay, so we lost to the Ravens. We gave up 35 points 2 weeks in a row, and that is a lot of points. You don't want the defense giving up that much. However, these are 2 very high-powered offenses. Lamar put 5 touchdowns on us. Deshaun with, again, over 250 yards, 3 touchdowns in his first interception of the year, and again, sacked 3 times. Receiving, D-Hop plays like D-Hop. 100-yard game, 1 touchdown. This is a tough schedule thus far. We got the Steelers next, and they went, was it 12-0, 11-0? So it's not like these are going to be easy wins here. Maybe until we get these next couple weeks. We'll see. So we get our first win of the season, topping the Steelers 31-28. Yeah, you like to see this. Again, it was close to 250 passing yards. That's 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions for Deshaun. D-Hop only had 2 catches for 30 yards, but hey, we were able to win with those numbers. So, not bad. Okay, we got the 0-3 Vikings next. I expect a W, but you never know with this game. Okay, so we lost, and I think this is going to be a game that we should have won, and the fact that we lost is going to come back to bite us in the butt later in the season. It's always those, if we won that one game, we'd be in the playoffs. But Deshaun still with really solid numbers. It's a 300-yard game, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. D-Hop with 54 receiving yards down here. It's cool that these guys are playing well, but it kind of doesn't matter unless we get more wins. So we got the Jaguars, who already have a better record than they ended up having for real this year. Let's see if we're able to top the division rivals. Okay, so this is a big win for us. Again, they were division rivals. Deshaun nearly 300 yards, and that's 2 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. D-Hop another 50-yard game. Okay, another big rivalry game here. Titans at this point are 4-1, and they are a very good team. So let's see what happens. Okay, another L here. We just can't seem to stop giving up 35 points or more. Deshaun, 3 touchdowns, nearly 250 passing yards, but 2 interceptions. D-Hop, maybe his best game yet with 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. Okay, heading into the bye, we're playing the Green Bay Packers, who made it all the way to the NFC Championship, so this is not going to be an easy game either. Okay, so we take another L here, giving up close to 40 points. Deshaun, a pretty modest game, just over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. D-Hop with only 3 catches for 20 yards. Okay, at the bye here, we might start looking to re-sign some folks. I'm not 100% sure I want to re-sign Will Fuller. Just want to look at what kind of cap we're working with. But it's not terrible. Let's just do it. Okay, we got Will Fuller back. Okay, at the midway point, looks like we are in last place of the division, only 2-5. Deshaun is 15th in passing yards, 7th in passing touchdowns. Like to keep those interceptions low, but we expect a little more productivity the second half of the season. And D-Hop is actually not leading the team in yards or touchdowns. Looks like the veteran Randall Cobb is. Brandon Cooks has more catches than the both of them. Still more touchdowns. So we need 2 more wins to at least match our record for last year. And we're playing the Jags again, who we've already beat. Expect another W out of this against a division rival, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, this is what you do not want to see. We gave up 35 points again. I don't know why that's the magic number here for us. And against division rivals, Jacksonville Jaguars, who we already beat. Deshaun, nearly 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and just 1 interception. But Gardner Minshew went off. Defense is really shutting down D-Hop here. Again, only 2 catches for 25 yards. And now we play another playoff team in the Cleveland Browns, who look like they're 6-2 now, so very, very tight win, but a win nonetheless. Again, this was a playoff caliber team we faced up against. Deshaun Watson, nearly 360 yards, only 1 passing touchdown. And that touchdown went to D-Hop, who had a 150-yard game. Okay, let's keep this momentum rolling with this next matchup against the New England Patriots. What do you want me to say, Madden? At least we didn't give up 35 points. Deshaun with over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, just 1 interception. D-Hop 4 catches for nearly 40 yards and a touchdown reception himself. Okay, this one's got to be a W. Like, if you lose to the Detroit Lions, this one's got to be a W. A close win yet again, but a win nonetheless. Deshaun did not have a great game, though. Only 160 passing yards, a touchdown, but 2 interceptions. D-Hop with nearly 40 yards on the day. Okay, we're playing division rival Colts twice in the next 3 weeks. They have the same record as us. They must not be as good as they were in real life. It'd help a lot to win those games. It'd help a lot if we ran the table, ended up going 9-7. We might actually have a shot at making the playoffs. But that's wishful thinking. Let's see how this goes. First matchup against the Indianapolis Colts. Well, we lost, and now we have 8 losses on the year, which means the best we can do is just hit 500, which I personally don't like to see. Deshaun with almost 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. D-Hop, 6 catches, 72 yards, and a touchdown himself. Chicago Bears, another playoff team. They are 7-5. We're just 4-8. If we can squeak a W, that'd be great. Okay, we had a big win here, and Deshaun Watson is a player of the week. 300 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown for himself. Finally, we put 35 up on somebody. 38, really. We saw Deshaun's stats. He had a really great game. D-Hop, wow, 7 receptions for 110 yards. Those are the kind of numbers you want to see almost every week with these two. But nonetheless, they are having a great season. It's just the rest of the team, particularly the defense, is not helping. So here we are again against the Colts. If we can beat them, tie the record, maybe we don't finish in last place of the division. Let's see what happens. Okay, we just couldn't seem to get past the Colts this season. Sean, over 200 yards, a touchdown with 2 interceptions. DeAndre Hopkins, 3 catches for 40 yards. 2 games left this year. This one against the Cincinnati Bengals. I think we can get a W. Maybe I'm being optimistic. Close game, but a loss. Deshaun with over 250 yards and a touchdown. DeAndre only had 1 catch for 4 yards. And in Week 17, we're going up against division leaders Tennessee Titans. Maybe we squeak a win out if they bench all of their starters. Might not be the case. Let's just get this over with. Okay, wow, we actually did get the win, and their starters were in. Deshaun had over 300 yards and a touchdown. DeAndre with 3 catches for nearly 30 yards. So the Texans still finished last in the division, but that's 2 wins better than last year. And people might be asking, is that even good? Like, don't you want to tank for a better draft pick? Well, the Texans traded away all their draft picks. So it doesn't matter. At this point, you're not playing for a better draft pick. You're playing for dignity. And I think the fact that we still have D-Hop on the team, him and Watson were producing together, we just need to build around that if we can. I don't know how much cap we'll be working with. And that defense needs a lot of upgrades. So I think the offense is set. Maybe we find a really good running back, fix the O-line a little bit. But then it's all about the defense. Got to re-sign my staff here. And I don't want to re-sign Bill O'Brien. And so everyone's contract's up, it looks like. Let's just, we'll clean house and we'll start anew. Okay, I'll tell you who I want as a head coach, and it's going to be Eric Bieniemy. The fact that nobody hired him this offseason is baffling. I don't know why people were in such a rush to get their head coach in. They just needed to wait a couple weeks for the Super Bowl to be over for Bieniemy to actually start working with them. Eric Bieniemy, in reality, would be available here, and you want to pair him up with this young stud at quarterback, Deshaun Watson, and D-Hop. So I can't make Bieniemy, but what I can do is just pick somebody here and then change their scheme, and I'll see if I can edit like their name and stuff. But I'm just gonna go with this guy. Or wait, let me see. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with this guy, and again, we'll fix all that other stuff. Just need to hire a scout here and a trainer. So this regression stuff, whether you're level 30 world class, level 28 world, like that, I don't know what any of this means, and it doesn't seem to make a difference when I play. Like, I guess I want the better guy. A lot of bidding teams here. I'll just go with Nick Garrett, I guess. I don't know. Like, if anyone knows what any of this means, please let me know, because I have no idea. Like, even with the coaches, like Matt Hedrick, he's not a real guy. He's a level 24, and he beats out Bill O'Brien, who's played in the postseason. Doug Marrone, who's played in the postseason. Dan Quinn, who's been to a Super Bowl. Like, I don't know, but whatever. Okay, we hired everybody we wanted, which is cool. Looks like Deshaun's not in the Pro Bowl, and it looks like D-Hop's not in the Pro Bowl. Okay, and would you look at that? The Cardinals made the Super Bowl without D-Hop on their team. I mean, is that realistic? No, because the Cardinals didn't even make the playoffs when they had D-Hop. But anyway, Browns, Cardinals, Super Bowl, few of the yearly awards. I guess Ryan Tannehill won MVP. Deshaun came in 4th place. Deshaun in 3rd place for Offensive Player of the Year. 7th in quarterbacks. D-Hop did not make the wide receiver list. But hey, Deshaun finished 5th in passing yards, 12th in passing touchdowns. That's a really, really good season. Like, if you saw that and then you had to guess what our record was, you'd think it would be more than 6 wins. D-Hop with a pretty solid season. Led the team in yards. But Cooks and Cobb had 2 more touchdowns than he did. Okay, and it looks like the Cardinals are Super Bowl champions without D-Hop. I'm hearing my coach. I think the only thing I can edit is his schemes. Can't change his name or anything like that. So again, we're going to pretend that this guy is Eric Bieniemy. We want to work with Eric Bieniemy. So I'm going to get the Kansas City Chiefs offensive playbook. I'll set it to West Coast spread here for offensive scheme because that's what Eric Bieniemy runs. All right, I'm going to run through here, see what additions we need to make in free agency. And the first pick we get isn't until the 3rd round. So I don't think we're going to really get any game changers in this year's draft. We got a 3rd round pick, 4th, 5th, 2 6s, and a 7. Looks like we're only working with $12 million in cap. So it's not like we're going to get a game changer here in free agency either. Okay, so we're going to wrap up this first episode of the DeAndre Hopkins staying in Houston series by going over the moves I made in the offseason. I know I kind of just skipped over the offseason. Just a lot of boring things. Me trying to go for players, not being able to afford them, and then not having a draft pick until the 3rd round. So here's our offense. We'll take a quick peek at who we're working with here. No major moves except we drafted a backup quarterback as well as a backup running back. We've retained all of our receivers. One position I was trying to upgrade but I couldn't was tight end, so we have to just deal with what we have there. On the defensive side, we got Rankins in free agency. We drafted a backup defensive tackle. Connolly over there, we signed in free agency for corner. And probably our biggest pickup in the draft was Hamilcar Rashed, who is hidden development, and he's joining our linebacker crew. That's essentially the squad heading into this new year. And so I'll end the episode here. Make sure to tune in next week to see if the Texans are able to start rebuilding, win some more games, and potentially get a Super Bowl with D-Hop, Deshaun Watson, and J.J. Watt. Leave a comment if you have any other ideas for an NifL series, and make sure to go check out bestavailableplayer.com for more cool content just like this.